What up, y'all? It's the King, and this is the end of the world. Or not. We'll see what happens. The jury's still out, I feel like, but stay locked in.
Shout out to King Wayne first before I get started crowning. But anyway,
So what up, y'all? Um, yeah, is the end of the world coming? Like what's going on? Is the Iran and World War III and China about to stop fucking with us and the dollar ain't this and blah 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 blah. Right? But what does it all really mean? The Epstein files, the fucking winter storm that crushed Russia and even us to a certain extent over here is like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? What's really happening here? Is the world ending or is it metaphor for something deeper? I don't know. I like to look at it from a standpoint of everybody's not experiencing the same reality at the same time. Like even when I think about the snow and how we got banged with snow up in Philly or how Russia got hit with 10 feet of snow, there were places on Earth at the same time where there was no snow at fucking all. Like no snow whatsoever is happening, right? It's not going on. It's beautiful. People are having a great time. Blah, 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 blah. Even when you think about the state of the country of the United States and the recession type of energy that's going on, everybody broke. Ain't nobody got no money. Ain't nobody doing nothing fun. Everybody hate each other. It's just you know like the camaraderie of the country is at an all time low. It seems like if you're looking at it from the outside looking in, but I like to think that it's not like it's a representation, but I don't feel like it's a real representation because I don't feel like everybody's living that reality. I don't feel like everybody's broke. I feel like some people are just fucked up. It is what it is, you know. People are, figuring their way out of bad situations and things like that. I was one of them. I was in a bad situation and had to figure it out. But I feel like at the end of the day, this life is really just what you make it, regardless of what's going on. Everybody's talking about Trump and how he's fucking shit up and how people shouldn't have voted for him. And people will say to me, "You like Trump? You support Trump?" It's not that I support Trump. I just, I never had an issue with him. I remember Trump from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous back in the day when I was a kid, and then he did shit like The Apprentice, and he was on WWF. I refuse to ever call that shit WWE. Y'all can sue me. I don't give a fuck because y'all are the WWF till the death because that's just what I grew up with. But I remember he was on all that stuff and I thought he was super cool. As far as politics go, I don't follow nobody. You know what I mean? Like even when Obama was in office, I wasn't voting. I did vote for Obama the first time. And I feel like I did that strictly because I was black and he was black. Or excuse me, y'all. My little thing is acting crazy. I don't think I voted. I mean, it's no. I don't think I didn't vote for him for any specific reason that was anything that I thought would be what am I trying to say, like something I didn't know his policies. I just knew he was a black dude. That was it. Like I didn't really give a fuck about the rest of the story. Um, but I've only voted twice. I voted for Obama and I voted for Al Gore, dumbass, when he lost that election to George Bush that first time. And that's what showed me all this shit is bullshit, right? And even when I think about back then, you had Y2K that happened, and then you had the what you call it, the 9/11 attacks, and we thought the world was ending and the Antichrist was coming and all that shit was going to happen back then. And here we are 26 years later thinking that the world is going to end again, right? So, and I'm not Nostradamus or anything. I said Nostradamus. Shout out to Nas. I'm not Nostradamus. That's the only Stradamus I acknowledge. But I'm not Nostradamus. But at the same time, I've lived and experienced this earth in a way that I feel like it's been here long before we have. And when I say long before we have, I mean as these forms that we are right now, because everything is energy, right? At least that's how I feel about it. I feel like, once this particular shell I'm done here, I just move on to the next thing to make an impact in whichever way the impact is to be made, right? That's all it is. Like Donald Trump is here making a certain type of impact that's going to push something else forward. So, and as far as like the fall of America, I don't really feel like it was ever a time where it was what do I want to call it? Like a thing. Like it was like America has been without identity. Um it's been without identity for a long, 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 long time. Like it's been, we've gone through so many changes with racism and segregation and white supremacy, the KKK, gang violence, and this shit ain't. I mean, this ain't no utopia by any standard. There's always some bullshit that you're gonna have to deal with, regardless to whether it's you know, uh, America or China, no matter where you go, you're going to deal with something, period, point blank. So, what is it that we were trying to do here? The same thing that Hitler was trying to do by trying to make everybody white with blue eyes and blonde hair? I don't think so. I don't think that's the reality of what we can actually be as a society because balance, right? All of us are not going to think on the same wavelength. That's why when you look in the media, everybody arguing about everything instead of realizing that we all just different. You know what I mean? Like not all of us are built to think the same. They say it's crazy because I was thinking about this yesterday. They say all men are created equal. Who said that? Dr. Martin Luther King. We were going through that shit when white people was whooping our ass and hanging us and shit like that. But we not like everybody's not created equal. Would you say you were the same on the same level as somebody that was mentally retarded? No. Would you say you were on the same level as somebody that was autistic? No. Do you say you were on the same level as somebody that was paralyzed? No. So we're not all created equal. Like some of us are born this way. Some of us are born with these deflects. So just from the sheer look of things, we're not created equal, and understanding that we have differences. I think if we stop looking at it from a standpoint like we're all supposed to be just rolling on the same, you know, frame, we would understand and appreciate each other better because we are different. I'll give y'all an example. So, well, I won't say a lot of y'all because that was a part of my business that I didn't really put out there. But when I lived in my last house, I had this neighbor. So some people may know this story. I had this neighbor. Well, these neighbors, it was these two white people. They were older, and I loved them to death. They were 90 and 91. It was a man and a woman. They've been married for 60 years. The woman, she was from Scotland, and the man, he's from here, or you know what I mean, from the neighborhood or whatever. And so they had kids. They had three kids, and they had a host of grandkids. But me and the old man became fast friends. Like almost, he became almost like a grandfather, so to speak, to me. And so much so that he invited me. I would go to like family functions, blah, 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 all these different things. Like I really got dug in with these white people. This was my white family, or so I thought, right? And I know how I feel about white people. I'm not racist, but I understand the minds and the psyches of most people, right? So I get that these things could be a thing. So people might not favor you. I mean, it happens with black people. That's why I didn't necessarily take it super personally, but at the same time, I understood um, that everybody wasn't going to accept me the way that he did, right? And that's cool because they don't have to do that by any stretch of the imagination or by any means. But I say all this to say, he passed away, and before he passed away, he just passed away recently. So like towards the end, I spent a lot of time with him because I mean, when I was living there, we spent a lot of time together. I would go to the store with him. This was my guy. Like we had become really great friends. He taught me how to farm. Like he taught me how to grow vegetables. This guy really did a lot for me. He in turn, I always say, I really came into my true manhood when I met this man. You know what I mean? Like I've been a man in the sense of being able to do things like, you know, get bitches, make money, do things, but like actually the stature of a man I learned from this guy. So he really gave me a lot, and this relationship was really um dear to me. So he died, and it was crazy because like even in the program, it, they didn't put me in there. Not to say that I felt like I needed to be in there, but the funny thing about it was at the funeral, because this is the church I actually go to where he was, where his funeral was, because we're all Catholic. And actually, that's how I came back to Catholicism through my neighbor. So it was just a lot that he did for me, right? So um, at the funeral, like I was sitting on the front pew because that's where we sat in church anyway. We sat in the front pew. I was at church with them every freaking Saturday when I lived there, and even when I didn't live there, I would come back to go to church. Just this was our thing. We went to church together. Family didn't come; they wasn't never there. Never there. They wasn't really never at the house either. And then, once he got sick, of course they started coming around. And I'm not saying this to knock him. I'm just saying this so y'all understand the context of um, the point that I'm making here. So, at the funeral, I'm sitting in the front pew, and I feel like the family probably was a little perturbed by it. I don't really give a fuck because it's a free country. I sit wherever the fuck I want. It is what it is. I didn't really care about that, but I could feel the tension. But uh, the father of the church that I go to, he saw me when we was in the church, and he pointed at me and he mouthed something to me, and I didn't realize what it was at first. But when he was giving the eulogy or whatever at the funeral, he was mentioning how he had helped bring a young man to the church, and it was me, named me and everything. So it was like, I think that probably really pissed them off too, because they, like whoever made up the program probably went out their way to be like, no, we're not putting him in it, because him, he, especially towards the end, like we would be at the house, and they were coming around trying to get things together, blah blah blah, and I would be in the room with him. We'd be watching basketball, talking, and mind you, he's sick, he's bedridden at this time. So they would be like, Pop, do you need anything else, blah blah blah. He would always say without fail, no, Jason's here, he got it, he's fine. Or if something needed to be moved, they'd be like, Jason got it, he's like, he was utilizing his friend versus them who hadn't been around. So I kind of got it in a sense, but that's still his family. So I'm not saying anything bad or indifferent about them. I'm just saying this to say, he died. And once he died, I got a text from the son, who, I didn't really have a relationship with. I had a relationship with one of the daughters. And then I knew the other daughter was 3 kids in all. The son sent me this text talking about some, grandma's going, only families going to come see grandma now, blah, 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 this, that, and third, no more company, which was like, all right, it's cool. And I kind of saw it coming, but it was like, white people going white people every chance they get a chance to be white people. And it's what I expect. So I didn't take it any, and I'm not saying this to say anything bad about them. I'm saying this to say I already understood this about them fundamentally. That's why when it happened, it was like, not a shock. Was I disappointed? Maybe a little bit, because the rapport that I had with mom and pops was something that I built outside of that family. So for them to come in, and it was funny because I remember one time I was sitting in the house with mom. It was just me and her. We was just talking, shooting the shit. And she was talking about, like, with the funeral arrangements and different things like that, how they weren't really like cluing her in on anything and how it made her feel. So it's like she was old and they were making decisions for her, right? Because I don't feel like at the end of the day, as far as she went, this was even anything that she had anything to do with. It was just a decision that they made because they were like, maybe they thought I was trying to get something out of her or get something out of it. No, like I really genuinely love these people. Like genuinely, like and that's just who I am at the end of the day. So I've always been that type of person. What the fuck? Y'all know how to drive? You don't drive your fucking car, lady? That lady old as hell. I'm about to go into the store. I got to run in the store real quick. I'm finished my video first. Yeah, just take your ass that way. What you going? Shit, it's about to be a road rage incident now. What the hell happened in here? Like, what's? Shit. White people about the white people. No, but yeah, just me understanding how people's minds work. That's what keeps me at peace. Oh yeah, I was saying, like, like that's just the type of person I am. I'm genuine. Like if I do something for you and there's a cost at me doing something for you, 10 times out of 10 I don't really fuck with you like that. Maybe I'll say 9.8 times out of 10 I don't really fuck with you like that. Like it just is what it is. So if there's like any cost to something, nah, so but that's never been the nature of me. Like like these people genuinely showed me love, especially when I moved into that house. I was going through hell at the time I moved into that particular house next to them. So they were like a saving grace. It was almost like I was meant to move there to meet those people. But yeah, that I had to watch that fade. Like pops died, so I got it. And then that's the thing too. That's another thing that gave me peace in the situation. And that's what I was saying with, if we understand that other people are just going to move to the beat of their own drum, it'll make it easier for us. So when the tie was severed, it was like I had got the best I could get from that situation anyway, right? Pop was going. Mom is probably, and not say mom ain't far is far behind because she could live another 10 fucking years. But like even with her, I got all the love I needed out of that situation and gave all the love that I have to give to the situation so I could just peacefully move on. It taught me that. You know what I mean? Before that, I struggled with that, trying to hold on to things that I should have let go, blah, 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 this is that and the third. But getting back to the point that I was making about the world, I think it's really just a reflection of the reality that you're living at the particular time. Like they say, as above, so below. And I look at it as a signal of new beginnings when they talk about endings, like things ending and things like that, things, the world about to end. Do I think from a literal sense? No, I think it's just a sign that the world of the things that no longer serve you need to just be done, right? Stop giving attention to things that don't need it. If you don't fuck with Donald Trump, just don't fuck with him. I mean, I say it all the time. I don't vote not because I don't believe in politics. I just don't believe in people. I believe in politics. I just believe in my own politics. So I'm gonna live under my own politics regardless of what's going on. Because at the end of the day, this a big game we playing. It's like we all on the board. Ain't nobody getting no brownie points for being extra nice. Ain't nobody getting no, people and people don't really give a fuck about the fucked up shit you do past the moment you do it. You could do it and people will pay attention to it because it seems like a sensationalized thing at that particular moment. But then once they pass the moment and find the next thing to be raving over, everybody forgets about the shit anyway. So don't take none of this shit too serious. This shit is just schoolyard shit at a molecular level. Niggas swinging their dicks or trying to bully people. That's all that's going on in the world right now. Trump just trying to do what the fuck he want because people are telling him that he can't and blah blah blah. He's just doing it anyway. You don't have to suffer or put yourself through some type of mental torment as a result of all of these things that are going on. Like I said, just because it snows here don't mean it ain't paradise somewhere else. So just find the balance for yourself. And you know, if the world does end, bang, what we gonna do about it? So it's like I said in one of my other videos about there's no need to complain because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and if it's not, it didn't. So all that in between shit, all of the theoreticals and all the what ifs and shit like that, and that shit dumb. Stay away from people that make mountains out of molehills about the part of the story that didn't actually ever happen. You know what I mean? Like I knew a lot of people like that in my day who would talk about what could have happened as a result of a decision you made that didn't happen and never happened. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about this for? So, and then understand this too. All this stuff is an agenda. It's all made to make you pay attention because everywhere you look where the stuff is going on, they trying to sell you something after it. So take it with a grain of salt that all this stuff is happening for a specific reason to push something forward. And as far as the economy goes, do what you got to do to have what you want to have or need to have. That's all. Figure it out. Figure the shit out. I had to figure it out. I had to lose everything and figure that part out. So I really don't have no sympathy for people complaining that got jobs and saying they broke. I was down to nothing. So figure it the fuck out because it's possible. I'm living proof that coming back from nothing is possible. So coming from something that you already got is a luxury. So, it's another thing if you hate what you do. And even if you hate what you do, you've been doing it. So figure it out while you're doing it because you've already been doing it. So just, you know, I myself just refused to be on that side of the workforce, I'll call it. So I was willing to go through the depths that I went to being homeless for a second and all that stuff. I was willing to deal with that. You know what I mean? That's on me. I really wasn't working on the timeline exactly like I said before. I wasn't working on the timeline of everybody else because we're not all created equal. Like I wasn't put here to work for somebody. Some people were. You know what I mean? Some people were put here to be the workers. I was put here to be the leader. So clearly we're not all created equal. So if we understand that and stop being so judgmental and envious of other people's roles in society and things that other people do, especially the people who have pulled themselves up from their own bootstraps to do it, that's what really will get us this utopia of peace that y'all just so desperately want. But it's crazy because if we had it, would you really be satisfied? No, because it wouldn't be nothing for you to complain about. So I say we're not all created equal. Some of us need to complain for existence. Some of us just need to exist. You know what I mean? It's we're not all created equal. So if you just understand that and understand life is what you make it, truly like you make this, like me, like right now, I'm making all this happen. You watching this video that I made happen. You know what I mean? Like it starts there. Everything outside of it you can't control it. There's no control over it. So you got to think about it like this. I think about it. I was talking to my boy the other day. I was talking to my boy Diddy the other day, and I told him, never regret the past because the past shapes you. And then he hit me with something that was even crazier. He asked me, you know, he said, like, how many days you been alive? And I said I never thought about it. So he counted it for me, and I've been alive like 16,000, almost 17,000 days. And he framed it in the most incredible way. He said, "Well, you got 17,000 wins, no losses." He said, "You ain't took a loss yet." And I said, "That's crazy. Even though some of the days are hard, I never took a L because look, I'm still here. I'm still pretty. I'm still breathing. Still got all my teeth. My dick still work. Both my arms and both my legs still work. I'm of sound mind and body. So I am taking W's all across the fucking board. No need to complain here. In the moment that you realize that that's what this shit is all about, that's the moment that you truly ascend and none of this shit. There's heaven, then there's hell. All right here. Understand that concept. And that's the key. You unlock the door to true happiness and all the things that you really want out of life, right? Because and stop thinking it's about money. It's not about money. Never been about money. And the people that make it about money are usually the ones that are the most miserable people. Like I didn't had plenty of money, lost it, and got it back, right? And I've done it in a way that I understand that it's not about that shit at all. That's the part of this equation that don't matter. As to why I move the way I move, as to why I do things the way I do things, people will know that like in the music industry, um, a lot of I would say, and I made a nice check in the music industry, but compared to the length of time that I was in the music industry, like I spent more time doing shit for free than I did getting paid. You know what I mean? But like I love music. I love the industry. I love to contribute to the music industry. That's why I was doing it for free. That's why I was doing it and not worrying about the money. The money would come. Even with this, I love this shit. I love doing what I do. That's why I do it. It ain't necessarily about a sponsorship or money or this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And it took me to get by myself to do this, because when you dealing with other people and other people's uh, um, motivations, it causes confusions because we are not created equal. We're not all in these things for the same reason. But yeah, that was all. I just wanted to make a quick video about the end of the world that ain't coming. And if it does come, embrace it. This was a beautiful life for those of us that have lived it, regardless to whether you're 90 or 9 months. You were able to breathe this air and consume this beautiful place that this place God has graced us with called Earth. Appreciate it. Be grateful for it every single day. Especially if you think, and that's the crazier part, even if we think that this is a don't look up situation, the last thing I'm about to do is spend the last days worrying about some shit I can't stop. I'm going to have a fucking ball. I'm going to go out. When we get to the afterlife, they're going to be like, damn, Jay, you turned the fuck up. Yeah, we about to die. Why wouldn't I turn up? I'm not about to be worrying about dying if I'm going to die. I ain't going to do that. I ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like I've been here 46 years. You know what I mean? And hopefully I get to be here 40 more. You know what I mean? For 35. I don't necessarily want to be 90. Who wants to be 90? Not me. Being 46 is a fucking mind fuck. No, because getting old ain't for the weak. I ain't ready to go yet, but you know what I mean? At the same time, you got to embrace these things. 'Cause, the one thing that's guaranteed to all of us is death. Like we all come to die. And the only way you live forever is live, because living leaves an impact. It leaves a mark on the world, and you live in a way that when you think about everybody that's lived, you think about like Michael Jackson, and you think about Hitler. They're two opposite sides of the spectrum, but they share something in common. People loved and hated them alike because they lived, right? It's crazy because we could look at Hitler and be like, Hitler was the most disgusting person in the history of the world. But Hitler had a whole nation that followed him. So to some people, he wasn't that bad. And it's not for us to say that he was because we don't agree with him. No, it's just for us to understand that balance exists. That's really all the fuck that is. So, yeah, I'm about to go in here so I can grab a couple of things from the store. I'm gonna make me some fish and grits this morning. That's kind of like my breakfast thing with my my two a days. My boy was like, "You need to start training." I just dropped 15 pounds. I'm getting summertime fine. Like, y'all see it. Y'all see the glow, even on a gloomy day with the crown. Y'all see it. I'm here. I'm popping it as I should. Cause the end of the world is coming. So why wouldn't I pop this shit super hard? But nah, like don't feed too much into the shit these people saying. Epstein files, all this. Who cares? I don't give a fuck who fucked who. As long as nobody fucked me, I don't care. I don't give a fuck about that. That ain't my battle. That's not what I'm fighting right now. I'm trying to figure out how to make the world better by me being who I am. Not trying to force people or talk about what people are doing or tell how people are doing something wrong. No, just understand I've lived and I've done enough shit that is quote unquote wrong to understand that we all just human at the end of the day and we just living. Not even figuring it out. We just living. I think trying to figure it out is where we go wrong. We just live, just understand, and that's why this is all in real time. You know what I mean? Be in real time. Stop worrying about what's coming, and leave what happened alone. Like that shit is over. Like leave that shit in the past. Like that shit is done. Rehashing that shit ain't going to change nothing. And worrying yourself to death about how you going to pay this bill ain't going to change. Listen, all these outwardly or external things have no bearing on who you are as a person because a lot of this stuff you can't control. You can't control how another person will give you an opportunity or favor. You can't control none of this stuff. And most of these things are, I was talking to another one of my boys, we were talking about music, and I was talking about how like we put in enough work in music that now we're the guys who could kind of control the board because of what and who we know, because that's all shit is at the end of the day. People get mad at Bronny, but LeBron is dad. I'm mad because I want to see some entertaining basketball, but I'm not mad at the fact that this man who has all this power was like, fuck it. I'm putting my son on. Because it's his son. You can't expect this man not to do that or look at it like he needs to be. People looking like that's not fair. Life ain't fair. Life ain't fair. Trust me, I'm gonna tell you firsthand. Life ain't fair. Take it from a nigga who slept in grass, who got kicked out of. I slept in a park and got kicked out of the park in a borough where my nonprofit does the street cleaning now. Like so, where they kicked me out of, I was willing to look past that, and now my nonprofit is bringing life to the borough that kicked me out. Don't take it personal. It just is what it is. People are different. They're going to do different things, and they were white people too. The cops were white. They were white cops that saw my black ass sleeping in the park and saw that I was homeless at the time, was like, you gotta go, nigga. You can't stay here. That wasn't bothering nobody or nothing. Nigga shine lights on me and everything. And then I take it personal because they just doing what they just raised to do or trained to do. And but yeah, let me go in here. Damn, I went 30 minutes. This is a pretty long-winded video. Right? But yeah, let me go in here and grab my fish so I can make my fish and grits. And I will see y'all on the next video. Oh yeah, make sure to subscribe, like, put some in the comments. You know what I mean? Like this is at the very least. You know what I mean? Like what uh I would like from you guys. You know what I mean? Because YouTube, I'm noticing my videos are starting to get back kicked into the algorithm, and it's because y'all watching, especially the shorts. The shorts are really like getting some numbers. So, I've been putting in the work with this YouTube shit. So I'm starting to finally see it come to fruition. So, I ain't even looking for you to buy nothing from Wayne's World Shop if you don't want to. You know what I mean? You don't have to. I just made a couple cool t-shirts just in case you want a t-shirt. But if not, that's cool too. You watching and hitting the like button and commenting, it, that's enough for me. I appreciate that more than you know. So with that being said, I'm up out of here, folks. It's the King, as always. Peace.
Shout out to King Wayne first before I get started crowning. But anyway.